Kathy. You guys hear me okay? Excellent. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Bobby, for keeping this group going. It, especially lately, just means a lot to me more than ever. But especially thank you to Sarah Gilbert, who organized this group for years and who invited me to come, which got me writing poetry again, and who has encouraged me so much. Cannot thank you enough, Sarah. Thank you. There's, boy, so many distractions in life these days. It's so hard to be present. So here's a poem about trying. This is called Commuting Home. Leave now. Leave it all behind. Leave the work, let go the grind. The projects unfinished, emails unsent. Send yourself home. Lend your mind a reprieve. Look ahead to what awaits you, back from where you went. Yes, the garden who will grin through the windshield as you sit in the driveway, who will say, "Come, taste of mine, my sun-warmed sweet cherry tomatoes on the vine." Yes, the welcoming smile and hug from the girl who will grab a snack on her way back to her Insta chat. Yes, the boy whose guffaws, groans, giggles, moans will wiggle up from the basement PlayStation he stays in while playing in virtual connection to his compadres from in-person school days until he resurfaces to receive you. Yes, the wife, waiting for you to walk in and pull her loose from the in-the-zone laptop plugged in working from home into the in the evening in the kitchen routine of roasting, broiling, feeding your in-the-mood brood. Yes, even the cats of indifferent yawns until feeding time dawns, when you will catch them in their moment of need and scoop them up for a moment of greedy cuddling. Think of what awaits you, anticipates your coming home. Let go, leave behind the iron grind, and let your mind be here now.
Very nice, Michael.
Thank you.
Wonderful advice.
So this is a little older. I did actually read this years ago when my attendance was very sporadic at this group, but I'm going to read it again. They say that you should write about what you know. So here's one about parenting badly. This is called I Know How This Will Go. Even as I watch him swing the milk jug in a high, careless arc, a constant distance from his 10-year-old shoulder, I know how this will go. I can see the jug landing just too roughly on the kitchen counter, just hard enough to break it open, then it all cascading in a shocked, guilty waterfall. I can hear the irritation that will escape my mouth in a sarcastic lash before I can bite it back or stall with the deep breath I know I should take. I can feel the anger that will well up in my set jaw at his defensively plaintive retort. It's not my fault. Then I will say something ugly, hurtful, and mean. I will choose death. Deuteronomy says, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your children may live. If every moment is a choice between the life I wish I would choose and the death I too often do, between the joyful way and the easy way, between food and fast food, between playing catch and watching football, between really listening and just waiting for my turn to talk, between writing a poem and mindlessly scrolling, then I know that in this moment, I am about to choose death, and then life. I know that when the counter and floor have been wiped clean of the mess, and my anger has soured to shame, and his shame and hurt have faded to sullen silence, that we'll both try to keep our eyes dry as I apologize, and he will lean hard into me, not yet ready to really hug, but too desperate for love, for life, not to. We will both choose life. I know. At least for now. I know.
I haven't heard that one before, Mike, so I'm really
Very nice,
glad
Michael.
you read it. So
Thank
I'm
you.
Really glad
Thank
read
you.
it.
Thank you.
There were about, I don't know, 4 years where I came very sporadically to this group because it met the same night as my son's Boy Scout troop. So I especially want to thank Troop 73 for moving from Monday nights to Sunday nights so I could start coming regularly because it's made a big difference. I'll say, let's lighten up a little bit. This is probably the only poem I can say that I wrote when I was definitely not entirely sober. This is called Glorious. In the kitchen at 10:37, on a Saturday night, Sarah Vaughan sings, "How High the Moon." The teenagers are elsewhere, oblivious, distracted, and between bites of your fresh-baked cookies, as you stretch your arms up above your shoulders, your shape shows through your pajamas, and woman, wife, you are glorious. You are all women, goddesses, goodnesses, all soft, luscious love of mine, us, ours, days, years, always, us, always. And yes, I am all praise for all the ways you are glorious.
Very nice, Michael. Get drunk more often.
Thank you, DG.
So beautiful.
All right, so here's another one that I wrote this about a year ago, and I did read it here at the open mic, but it seemed kind of bold at the time. So much has happened since then. It seems a little more obvious now, but Katie was so kind in her praise after I read it that I have to read it again. This is called It Finally Occurs to Me. 26 years ago, I sat, sandwiched in the back seat of a late model sedan with 4 other 17-year-old boys on a Friday night on the west side of Davenport, Iowa. We all thought it was a good idea to turn off the headlights as we turned onto the street where Ben lived. You see, he had been spending entirely too much time with Debbie, who we didn't know then he would marry, with whom he would be so happy. We just knew our friend was effectively ending our relationship for a girl. So we were justified in buying the extra large bag of the extra large rolls of the extra soft toilet paper to fling among his trees. This caper qualified as dangerous to us. We giggled with nervous laughter as we got closer. But it died in our throats when we saw, at the end of Ben's block, 3 police cars stopped, lights flashing, corralling a late model sedan and the several young men it held. And immediately we all understood the mission was aborted. The headlights turned back on, the suspicious behavior ended, but unfortunately too late, of course. And we, only a block away, found ourselves pulled over, interrogated one by one, too dumb to know we only had to tell the truth to dispel the suspicions we were in cahoots with that other car of criminals. I must have been the one that obviously would crack. The officers picked me out of my backseat sandwich, the softest banana in the bunch. One mention of going down to the station, and I told them everything. They were kind enough not to laugh as they restrained themselves from patting us on the head as they gently sent us on our way. Now, 26 years later, it finally occurs to me that despite being pulled from our car by multiple officers on a Friday night, none of us ever feared for our lives. We were all right. Well, we were, all of us, white. None of us were searched or handcuffed or yelled at or called boy. And none of us even thought twice about any of that because we were, all of us, white.
Very powerful. Thank you, Michael.
All right. So maybe that was a little political. This one is certainly political. I think the only thing I've written that uses sarcasm that you'll hear towards the end, I'm not sure how I feel about using sarcasm in a poem, but there it is, it's done. So this is called Velveteen Flag. Slightly rusty, the blue Dodge pickup rumbles down Highway 41, past the sprawl of mall land alongside my morning commute. From its tow hitch sprouts a pole for a flag, and ragged and ripped, the red, white, and blue of the United States of America proudly, loudly snaps violently in its 70-mile-per-hour flight. I can almost see the bits of thread ripping away from the edges. And I wonder, how much love can one flag stand? Like the Velveteen Rabbit loved so long and so strongly, till it had but one eye and its fur was all shabby. And how did that end? Oh yes, a plague. It had to be burned to prevent the spread, a life sacrificed for the greater good. Thank goodness we aren't all children, dragging our country behind us while romping around on adventures, blissfully ignorant of the consequences. Thank goodness we know no nursery fairy is coming to miraculously save us from the burning plague pyre, to make us a real country at last.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's another good one, Mike. Wow.
All right, so that'll bring me to my last one, which is my attempt to capture a moment. Sometimes you have those moments that just demand to be captured in a poem. So this is my attempt to do justice to a moment like that. This is called My Sister Comforts a Dying Goat. When she asked, would I like to help her with chores tomorrow, we both knew I wouldn't be helping that much. I'd be sharing the morning routine she spends every morning, caring and feeding and tending these horses and goats and chickens and pigs and donkeys and dogs and cats and cows, to see how, with such graceful, grateful, loving touch, they tend and mend each other. Riding the four-wheeler the long way round the hayfield to the top of the hill, the highest spot for a mile around, the massive dogs bounding along behind, the great old Mississippi rolling away below. She occasionally yells to them, Moose, Jojo, come on, boys. Then over her shoulder to me, she smiles and says, this is the best part of my day. This day, though, the routine is unsettled, not just by me, but also by these three men and a boy. These three generations of Nepalese immigrants come as customers, in need of a sacrifice to celebrate the impending addition to their third generation, a goat to eat as they anticipate the arrival of the babe who may one day carry on their traditions. That one, the young father asks. No, not that one, she says. She is special to me, like a pet. That one then. Yes, that one. The price, he asks. She tells him. No, that's too much. I'm sorry, that's the price, she says. She knows her business. She knows they will pay. Leading the way out of the pen, the horn of the little white goat in her hand, we all walk to the spot it will be slain. Legs bound, lain down, the ceremonial knife at the ready, the Tupperware bowl under its throat to catch the precious blood. Her hands on its head, her voice in its ear to calm. His knife flashes, the goat thrashes once, she strokes, she whispers. Her voice carries the creature into darkness and peace. I am privileged then to see in this moment all that she is. She is, I see, her grandmother Angeline, child of the Depression, calming the hens with Polish whispers while collecting their eggs on the shores of Lake Michigan. She is, I see, her grandmother Anna May, beheading and butchering a chicken to feed her brood of 7. One more meal, one more day, survived on the Iowa farm. She is, I see, her mother, Jane, the nurse, the comforter, soother of whomever the hurt assails. She is, I see, the mother of the children she has not had, might have had, will never have. She is, I see, the wise old woman I may live to see one day, if I am lucky. She is, I see, every ancient priestess at the altar. She is, I see, the angel of death coming when least expected. She is, I see, the girl I grew up with, mourning each untimely lost wild one. She is, I see, a woman doing what women have always done. The chores, the hard things that life and love require. Thank you, guys. This was really great. Thank you.
Woo!
Oh,
Thank you, Michael.
Nice